And welcome, folks, to another edition of the Michigan football film study focused on the offense. That man they call Al Borges. And Al, they call you gorgeous. Not even you can make this film study look better. And that's saying something, Al. That's saying something.
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi.
That's pretty true. This one was pretty doggone bad. I was impressed by the football breakdown this week because the people showed up in mass. I think
Did they have torches and with pitchforks and torches out, Sam?
yeah, man, they wanted some answers. They wanted some explanations. It seems like because they've been pretty much kind of not kind of covering their eyes, covering their eyes from the film study.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, this one I think they're uncovering their eyes because they're trying to figure out how the hell weren't they able to move the football, especially from the 7-yard line. Now that one I think was especially perplexing when you got such a spectacular performance from the defense. But for one defensive possession, the double move, that's the one that I think the defensive coaches and the players would say that's the one where we felt like we had an assignment error, we had a breakdown. Everything else, they're like, hey, they were lights out. They got a play where they hit one in the end zone on Zeke, you tip your cap. But everything else, it's like defense was lights out.
Mm.
Offense just was not able to match that in any way, shape, or form in this game, Al Borges.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just having a hell of a time getting in sync. And at the beginning, it looked pretty good. There were some nice high percentage throws and then a couple of shots, and they were kind of rolling. But then they got inside the 5-yard line and it stalled out and had to settle for a field goal, which, it's better than nothing. But in a game like this, it's going to be tight. Those extra 4 points with a touchdown just makes such a big difference. But I was feeling, I didn't see the whole game. I just saw like the beginning of the game and then maybe a little bit into the second quarter because I was in Boise with my team reunion. So I really didn't see the second half. But then I watched it on the All 22. And they just never really got into sync after that. Not like, you need to get into sync to win a game like this. And it's just a lot of errors, inability to handle movement, the twists, and the line charge variations that Indiana showed were good against run and good against pass. And I'm not sure they went into the game with the idea they were going to do as much as they did. They might have, I don't know. But once they realized that they weren't handling it very well, they were getting it virtually every play, some kind of movement. They played very little standstill defense. Okay, someone was either blitzing, either the A gap or off the edge, or if they weren't blitzing, you were getting ETs, end and tackle, or TTs, ET delays, up and unders. It was all kinds of movement to create problems in your blocking patterns in the run game. And we're going to show that a little bit, what happened on that. And then freeing up pass rushers because the inability to stop the penetrator and getting people picked off where they couldn't make exchanges on the line charge variation. So that was really the story of the game. And it had an effect on the quarterback, a big effect on the quarterback, because I believe that at one point in time, he was kind of, even when he was protected well, he was seeing ghosts. And once your footwork goes south, you can't time a throw and you can't make a good, fundamentally sound throw because you're never in platform to do it. So that was a big part of it.
So, I like to try to pick up cues from being around you guys so much. You go into these games with a plan. I know that about you guys, and then there are times where you're like, they're battlefield adjustments. There are battlefield adjustments in every game that you make. There's no question about that. But then there are sometimes stark battlefield adjustments. And it felt like there was a stark battlefield adjustment for Indiana in this game where they were like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. Sam, this is one of those times when you wish you had an outside zone play, a rim play, not necessarily a knockout zone like an Alex Gibbs downhill mid zone or whatever, but a rim play where you can actually catch all that sideways movement because you're moving sideways. You can catch a lot of those things. Whereas when you're coming off on zones and duos all the time, sometimes you get caught on the first guy and the twist beats you because you can't redirect or trap back to get it picked off. But this is one of those games you wish you had some kind of an outside zone play that would help them collect all that stuff.
Yeah. And so what I mean by that is movement, Al. It's hard for me to believe that they came into this game anticipating that much movement in their game plan. Because
I don't know if they did. Because I studied Indiana every game they played. And I didn't see this. That's significant. They had all this, but it was here, it was there, it was once in a while. But once they realized it wasn't getting blocked, blood was in the water, and you got more and more of it.
Yeah, and the commentators, the guy CJ West, Michigan recruited him out of the transfer portal, and he chose Indiana over Michigan. We're thinking, what the hell? What did they pay the guy? First of all, and I don't think it came down to pay. I think it came down to Michigan has Mason Graham.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, and Rayshawn Benny. It's like, what the hell, man? I could go to Indiana and start. I'm fourth string on Michigan squad.
Yeah, he didn't see himself as a featured player here. Right. He knew he'd be a featured player at Indiana, right?
Yeah, and he went, and he's looking like all world because he's in the backfield every play, and the commentators are talking about it like he's in the backfield every play. CJ West is making all these plays. They aren't explaining why, Al. And you watch the tape and you see why. It's not like he's just tossing guys left and right and beating guys with quickness. It was the games that they're running up front. And he's coming scot-free because the twists were springing him scot-free, and Michigan was never able to really adjust. And we're going to see that as we start to show this series that you put together to kind of illustrate what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's so many little things with regard to footwork and understanding what's happening in front of you, when to speed up a little bit, maybe when to slow down and catch the movement. There's just little things that as offensive linemen, the more you play, the better you understand. And that happens to you a hell of a lot less. But a couple of times we just look like we hadn't seen it much. Okay, let's start with the first one here, Sam. And here's a prime example right here, okay? Go back to the beginning and freeze it for just a beat. And let me explain to you what's happening here. This is a nickel dog. 12's coming off the edge, and they've got a TE going with it, okay? So what's happening here is Michigan is spending two players on one player, okay? The center and the left guard are being spent on the tackle looping out, okay? And no one is blocking the man coming underneath. Okay, you can see right there. Now, if you kept shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip, and you could see that, you could come off and just kind of put your foot and kind of trap back on it. What I call trap back, where you can step back and knock him off enough so that the back can get started. But when you commit to your footwork to one guy and you can't make the adjustment, you free up the twister. And that's exactly what happened here. It happened several times during the course of the game. And this is nothing more than an outside pressure by number 12 coupled with a twist. That's a run blitz right there, a run pressure right there to stop the inside run game. Now, if you think about it a second now, for some reason this was an outside zone, which they don't really run. I'm just speaking in hypotheticals right now. You could block 12 and easily wall off all that stuff. You know what I mean? Just take the ball wide, which would be a better play. But again, we're dealing in hypotheticals, but that is one answer to dealing with it. You can still block this, but it is tough.
Clean right in the middle of. Whew.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for him. He's just waiting for him. Well, Al, that wasn't the only time that happened. Here's another one.
Yeah, you got a similar issue now. Okay, you got they go into a double legal type look. They fire the end, and let's see if we can't watch this and it's slowly. The defensive end comes inside of Link. Now Link's got to get his left foot up and down fast so he doesn't penetrate. Okay, the right guard, I think it's Jihadi. Who's the right guard? 56. No, he's 58, isn't he? So he oversteps the nose.
Well,
and the nose
remember El Hadi got hurt, so
El Hadi got hurt. That's right. El Hadi got hurt, so he oversteps the nose guard now, who blows right by him, and he ends up blocking no one. Okay, and there is the same issue all over again. Link allows too much penetration, and the right guard oversteps it and never really gets a bite out of the twister. So the same issue, and that's nothing more than a duo play. Okay, at bunch duo, which they, that's in their culture. But no one blocks
anybody
the twister. So same issue, same problem. You got to see it, maybe slow down a little bit, be very sound with your footwork so there's no leakage. And that gives you half a chance, but you can't turn them loose.
Okay. Well, let's show another one. We could do a lot of these, but we'll show.
Oh, yeah, no, I just want you to get the theme. Same idea here now. This, I believe, is a split zone, if I'm not mistaken. With the same theme, I believe you can watch now. They're in an odd look. The nose is going to twist. Now, see, right now, as soon as Link can feel that guy leave and slow down a little bit and come back and just trap back on 9. Okay, don't continue to go down the line of scrimmage when you can see what's coming. Get your eyes up and see what's coming. He's twisting back. Someone's got to get a bite out of him. So when you overkill it, your steps are so gross, you don't see it now. See, now he backdoors it, and there you go. But he's got to keep his eyes up so he can see what's going on. And it's just a lot easier to say than it is to do, but it's the only real way to handle it. Turn that inside go, hand check that guy and throw him into the next guy and then fall back and trap back on that twister.
Yeah,
that was the term. That was a term we always used for when there was a movement, okay? And you had to actually see it and slow down a little bit. We say, trap back to him.
Yeah, that was a tough problem, recurring theme. Guys sprung free in the run game. Pass game too, pressures all day. They never were able to block that with consistency. They were able to give them time at times, but blood in the water. Indiana smelled it, but there were some opportunities for some plays, and we will show that as we get deeper into the film study.
One thing I learned as an offensive coordinator is anytime you don't handle something, you're getting more of it. You're going to get it until you handle it. And then even if you handle it and it's a crucial situation, the defensive coordinator will go back to previously successful behavior and run it again. So you got to stop the bleeding ASAP or you're going to get more and more of it.
All right, Al, let's get deeper into the film study. And I think it is time for our first illustration. This is a play action pass. And, the play action game you thought would be a little more deadly for Michigan this season. But you got to be able to protect for it to work.
Yeah, and here's a protection that's pretty solid generally because you're in a full slide, and in this instance to the left, your tight end is blocking the defensive end with help from the motion man. Bredesen, as long as nobody blitzes, he can get help there. So even movements you can handle because everybody's stepping right to it. You don't have to redirect to block movements. So this is a good protection. A crash dagger, I think, versus cover 3. And there's your crash route. Tyler Morris, he runs up the field, pushes across to the far hash mark, and kind of pulls that safety and those linebackers, okay? Is that Fred Moore, I think? Is that number 3? I think it is. He arc releases outside, runs to about 16 to 17 yards, breaks inside, okay? It's a good combination right there. So you can take 2 people out with the inside route and then single up the corner and isolate the underneath defender and see what he does, okay? There goes Bredesen in motion. He can block the first thing to show off the edge. And if he doesn't get anything off the edge, he can go ahead and help the tight end, which really is kind of a weakness in the protection because a lot of times he's forced to block a defensive end, which that can sometimes be a little disconcerting. Okay, so you got a nice solid protection right there. Then everybody just blocks to their right. If there's no linebacker coming, they can help double team. You can see those are all good angles, and it sells the hell out of the run. So you got a good solid pass protection with a good run look. No reason why we shouldn't be able to get this ball off, and we do. There's the faking stage right there to Donovan, and that brings the linebackers up so that second level has been canceled, okay? Hopefully that inside crash route will take the deep level out. That second level canceled, the corner retreats, and now we got that nickel back isolated. After the fake, Donovan just slides right into the flat, so you get a little front and back on that nickel. Okay, he got to make a decision. Is he going to guard Donovan, or is he going to go ahead and eat up that dig and force us to check the ball down to Donovan? So that's all the quarterback's doing. There he is. Read that defender, make the fake, pull the core of the defense up, take your drop, maybe a little 3-step hitch throw off the fake, and see if there's a throwing window in there. And if for some reason there isn't, just check that ball down to the back. There you go. It's that easy. Good protection, good pocket to throw it, good routes, pick up 16 yards and move the chains. Like to see him get that up a little so we get a run after catch. Right. But I'll take 16 yards. I'm not going to turn that down.
Given the day, we didn't know at the time, but man, given how the day turned out, I'll freaking take it out, Borges.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Man. Now, there may even be a time if for some reason they played man-to-man, Sam, maybe cover 1, you might throw the ball to the crash. We saw that happen several times last year with J.J. McCarthy. So you got to alert that. You never know. But in zone, he's probably not going to be a factor. But in man, he could be the first look. Yeah. But this is very well executed. Make that thing look and sound like a run. Pull up those linebackers and throw it in behind them. Good design, good execution.
Yeah, like you said, run after catch would be great, but not going to make perfect be the enemy of the good.
Not in this instance. We're not getting enough of these, Sam. We got to take what we can get.
We got a completion, Coach Borges.
He did get a completion. You know what his grade would be on my sheet, Sam?
Completion. That's what it would be. Now they have incomplete on some report cards. Complete. That's what it would say. It would say complete. Damn it. That's what it would say.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, Al. You'd never look a gift horse in the mouth, man.
No, especially the way things are going. We'll take whatever we can get. We're not getting steaks, but we better get a bunch of ham sandwiches, Sam. I know.
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and bring the next one to the stage.
How about a nice 3rd and 8? I like this one a lot. This is a good play right here, okay? This is Y return Z square out, which means the tight end's going to run a little out, then back inside. The Z is going to run a little out cut versus off coverage or retreat coverage. He gets a pre-snap, tells him that's a pitch and catch throw into the short side of the field. They're playing what we call 2 squats, so they're rolling the corners up into the field and playing the corner on the back half of the field, basically man-to-man for all intents and purposes. So this is well read. This is where the ball's got to go. 3rd and 8, you can see where the line to gain is, so we just got to make sure we make a throw that can get him past that line to gain so we can keep the chains moving, all right? All right, let's look at it. A boundary receiver, I believe it's O'Leary, he runs basically a 10 to 12-yard out. It's a speed cut. Ball should be thrown on time. 1, 2, 3, plant, let it rip, okay? Tight end, I believe, is Loveland. He starts outside for a couple steps and ducks back underneath. So if for some reason somebody gets underneath that out, he could reset his feet, throw that ball right back inside. Still, you'll probably get some run after catch on that one, and that'll get you a 1st down. Slot man just runs an out. He just runs it out. And you can't see the split end, but he just clears out of there. He takes that corner deep and clears out that out. They're squatting the field, so you're not really going to want to throw it over there. They got a lot of bodies, okay? Corners rolling up, safety's rolling inside, the other safety's on the half. So the place to go is the place he went, and the short side out or the return route are in order. Okay, now let's get it protected so we can get this ball off. Donovan check releases and he runs a little tight swing into the short side, and he could be an outlet if for some reason somebody got underneath the out. Okay. All right, both guys blow off the edge because it is a double dog, meaning both edge guys are blitzing. But we have an answer to that. We just bail the tackles and block it. Okay. They run a little. There's another one. There's a little TN, which means the tackle is attacking the A gap. The nose is wrapping around, and the 3 techniques just coming up the field. The good news on this play, Sam, it's just a 3-step plant throw. You could, a twister's going to have a hell of a time getting to you. You should be able to beat him with the timing of the throw. Okay, you should be able to beat him with the timing of the throw, even if it's not blocked to perfection. And there you see it.
Beautiful.
Nice play, move the chains. Retreat coverage, drop your pads, snap your head, expect the ball in the air. Very nicely done. Good throw.
Yes, sir. Yeah, first drive, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, he put some completions back to back, couple decent runs, and they're feeling like they're in sync. But we're just not finishing drives like we need to finish them.
Yep. Yeah, they got into the red zone and bogged down. Bogged down, unfortunately. So, I mean, you see some of the possibilities though, and I like what you said about maybe there's some protection, some protection patches that you can run. I mean, you do one thing, and there's some vulnerabilities in everything you do, right?
Everything. It doesn't mean you go to one protection, there's vulnerabilities in that. Smart coaches figure that one out, so you got to change before they do. And so, you're just trying to stay a step ahead of the posse. Protection really becomes a chess game as much as route structure does. They find ways to trick it, see which way you're turning, bring 2 guys away from the way you're turning, or twist away from where you're turning so that the center's not involved. It's just all kinds of things the defenses will do if they think they got a beat on how you're protecting.
All right. So one more that gets you right down there into scoring range, get you right down there in the red zone.
Yeah, I really like this. This was nicely set up and done. This is a fake block and go play versus a 42 chop, which means they're blitzing the short side corner off the nub side. Nub side meaning the side that the tight end's on, and there's no receiver outside him. So that corner's coming off the edge. But Michigan did a really nice job of handling this. Okay, fake block means that slot's going to fake a block, but now the outside receiver has got to take two. He's got to take the corner first, collect the corner, and then pull him inside and take the safety also. That's very critical to the play. Thin and in. We talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm. So you see that corner over there.
You see he chases it, and the safety will go to deep third. All right, so the receiver comes off like he's going to block that nickel. You want him to believe he's blocking the nickel for that bubbling motion man. Okay, I believe that's Samaj, who's coming out, and he's going to run a little swing route or bubble route, creating the illusion of a bubble screen, which should pull number 12 up. Okay, which it does. Matter of fact, he bites so hard he slips. Okay. Once he does, and I believe that's Tyler Morris, he runs a little wheel route right where that corner left, Sam. Okay. So if the corner's out and the nickel takes the bite, there should be a void right there in that outside intermediate area, about 18 to 20 yards down the field. Okay, here comes that corner blitz, but Donovan, he won't have any of it. It's supposed to be a fake, but he kind of aborts it and just goes pick that blitz up. And the tight end picks up the 7 technique. Now, I didn't even draw the line because it's the same protection as it was on the first dagger route. Everybody's sliding one man to sell the run. Quarterback makes a quick fake, drops back and sticks it right in that hole, and Tyler makes a wonderful catch.
Yeah.
A little tiptoe act on the sidelines for a big gain. Oh, now we're in business, Sam. 1st and 10. Rocking and rolling. Completed some passes. Feeling like we're in sync. Now we got to finish the drive. Look at that. Full extension. Great spatial awareness with your feet.
Yeah. 1st and goal.
Easy call for the official.
1st and goal, and you think you're going to go in. Knocking on the doorstep. I can't remember the first down play. I think the second down play was a wedge play.
Yeah, they ran a wedge from the 4, which is out of character. They don't usually run the wedge that far out. They'll run the wedge in tight or they'll run it in short yardage, which kind of surprised me a little bit. They ran a duo first from bunch, gained 2 yards, ran a wedge, only gained 1. And they ran a stick nod, and the quarterback fumbled the ball. So that drive got killed and resulted in a field goal. They did get something out of it, but it sure would have been nice to score.
Yeah. Nice to score 6. But the you had a high snap on the wedge. I don't know how much
and that could have thrown some of the timing off because the edge again, the short edge came through and hit him before he could get going. Plus, we got pushed back a little bit in the middle.
Yeah, so
it was not a good wedge play.
Yeah, and then you fumble on the 3rd down play. So
yeah. They brought another double dog, just like you saw a little earlier there on that square out, and but it looked like zero coverage. They had a little stick nod with Colston Loveland, but the guy really didn't bite it. So I don't think the play was destined to be any good anyway. But
yeah, so you could legitimately say that execution on those. The wedge was questioned. Wedge was questionable, but execution on those, you could legitimately say on that drive, the opening drive, say, all right, that was maybe more of a nod to we got to have better execution than fellas. But let's keep that. Let's bookmark that in our brains. So we'll come back to it because the next time they were there, I'm not looking at execution. So sure, there are execution errors, but I'm not leaning on execution as much as I just don't think it was them being put in the best position. We'll come back to that. All right. Next play.
Yeah, this is a play action with a short flood into the boundary, and this was a good-looking play. Now, the way they set this up, it's 2nd and 10, and what they got is Colston Loveland's going to run inside. We didn't illustrate this, so I'm going to explain it. Ran inside, started like he was going to run an over, a deep over or a short over, like on a naked bootleg, and then puts his foot in the ground, breaks back to the sideline. The bottom receiver runs the corner out. He bumps him a little bit, but I don't see it as an issue, but then we airmail it. This was a lost opportunity. This was going to be a 16, 18, maybe even a 20-yard gain if we could get some run after catch. But this is an opportunity lost right here. It's some pressure now, but that's a throw you just simply got to make. Pressure, no pressure. There's enough there to step through that thing.
Well, Coach, I'm about to get hit, Coach.
Yeah, I know. Occupational hazard. That's part of the deal.
I'm about to get hit.
Well, we got you on scholarship. I used to tell him, before I used to tell him, the guy said, Coach, the guy's going to kill me. I says, occupational hazard. Don't give me that stuff. He goes, I used to say, you're on scholarship, right? Well, hell, now they got an NIL too. So not only on scholarship or on NIL, all the more reason that this pass has got to be complete. That's got to be a complete pass. That's an open receiver and not great protection, but good enough. And again, now we're 3rd and 10 rather than 1st and 10. It was 2nd and 10 when we threw it. With the confidence in you to make the throw, we didn't make it. Now we're 3rd and 10. And our odds go really low when we go to 3rd and 8 plus.
So you say there was enough opportunity in there to stand there and deliver that ball.
Got to make that throw. End of discussion. There's nothing else to discuss. You can give me all the reasons why you can't, and I'm not buying any of them. You get your feet in the ground. There's going to be a lot of traffic on the throw. You got to make the throw, period. There's going to be throws you can't make where you can't step through the throw, and that's understandable. But here, you got weight transfer, you got your hip set, you got to put that ball on him. It happens now. You're gonna miss some throws occasionally. This just isn't a game you can do it much in because, obviously you're playing a team that hasn't lost a game. You're playing in their place. You got a chance to kind of take the crowd out of the game if you make a few plays, and those opportunities are few and far between. Now this one again, this is poor quarterback play here, and I'm going to show you why from the end zone. Okay, Sam, as slow as you can do it. Pause it if you would. Okay, now what they got going here, and again, we didn't illustrate it, but I'm more interested in the fundamentals than I am the read. You can see here now when he hits the back of the drop, this should be a 3-step hitch throw, maybe a 3-step hitch with a quick hitch. Okay, you're probably going to need to hitch it. That means to collect your feet before you make the throw, because that's the nature of the depth of the route. As you peek out, you can see the wings are right. The corner is high and outside now. And I think what dissuaded him is that he was outside, but he's loose enough to where there is a window to make this throw. They jump Loveland. That's the good news with Loveland is they cover him here. But now, if he can put that ball to the outside with that as loose as that corner is, he is high and outside. Now, if he's tight, then leverage, I say no dice, don't do it. But he's tight enough. He's in a full speed backpedal or he's in a full speed bail. He's not going to cover him on the break. If that ball's timed right, 1, 2, 3, hitch, you have a window, give it to him. But for some reason, the leverage, I think, dissuaded him from making the throw. Okay. All right. I'm okay. Coach, I don't know. I just didn't feel good. All right. That's fine. If that's the case, now collect your feet. No, don't bounce to your right. Now you're going to end up out of profile. You get out of profile, you can't make a throw in an expedient fashion. Now, keep running it, Sam.
See, do you agree with him being off of it already?
No, I would have stayed with the throw based on the depth of the corner. But since he did, and he says, I didn't like the leverage of the corner, because that's probably what he's thinking, use good footwork. You can see now he's bouncing all over the place. Keep it running. His hat goes back to the over. Keep going. He's not pushing the pocket off the 3-step drop, and there's a beautiful passing pocket right now. Now there, you can't do a thing from that position. You see that position right there, Sam?
Mhm.
You cannot do a thing for that. Your hips are too wide open. Your shoulders are damn near square to the line of scrimmage. You can't do anything. If you'll stay in profile and hitch, you can see the over route is breaking clean right in behind the umpire. Spin the ball right by the umpire's right ear. They're not going to close it in time if you spin it tight and you got a completion, but you're not in position to throw the ball. Do you understand what I'm saying? Get the 3 steps, hitched. Now you're just running. Now you just got to throw it away and you lost an opportunity. So again, I'm a purist, and I believe that footwork has got to be consistent because you can't time throws and you can't throw with good balance and rhythm when your feet and your shoulders are out of position to do so. Your feet time the throw, your eyes take you to the read, and they work in concert. You understand? 1, 2, 3, hitch. I don't like it. Reset. No, I don't bounce around. I turn around. No, that's all. Every step counts. Now you're off time. He's a bouncing clown. You don't want to do that. You want to push through the pocket. And then if for some reason you don't like anything, then take off. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're out of position to do anything in that instance. And the protection just isn't all that bad. Yeah, live and learn.
So, people say no one's open. Tyler Morris is open on this play.
No, there's 2 open receivers on this. One with good anticipation into the boundary, and 2 on the over route with a hitch step or maybe a run up. I don't care. But not falling backwards. That's not going to get you. Get in the damn fight. Get up there where you can see the throw, where you can slip the ball through the cracks in the pass rush and transfer through it. See, these moves, I don't know what they are, but they're not quarterback moves, okay?
Yeah. That's a tough one. And I ask you, that's a tough one. I don't know. It's a tough one. In game, how do you
Well,
correct
here's
that?
the thing, Sam, is you can coach all the throwing mechanics and all the little nuance in passing. God knows I do it. But I can't simulate the pressure in practice or when we're just, working with Tom House in the off season or whatever, right? I can't simulate that. In the game is where it gets simulated. You don't hit the quarterback in practice, so he never really gets to see or feel that pressure or feel the pain of the hits. And that all has a residual effect, or it certainly can have a residual effect. It shouldn't, but it can.
Right. So this is the part where from a coaching perspective, like you do pin it on a coach, like, hey, you got to get them right. You got to get them right. You got to get from a mental standpoint, you got to get him calmed down to the point where he can play the position. But then there's a part about putting them in position for success. And this gets us to the next play, whether you're talking about the quarterback or just the team itself. And I just don't feel like this next play put them in the best position now. And
this was, and I want to explain some things about it before I, be too critical, because this is well, let's just talk about it, then I'll tell you, because I've run these crack sweeps, whether quarterback crack sweeps or pitch sweeps or whatever, forever, a long time. I've run these plays with these exact schemes, with various people blocking the force man, down arounds. They're nothing more than pin and pulls or horn plays, going around the end. This is a quarterback pin and pull versus a goal line double eagle, okay? You're about the 3-yard line, so everything's got to be just right, Sam. Everything's got to be just right because our margin for error is not great, okay? So, all right, let's go ahead and look at it.
all right.
Bredesen comes in motion. There's your call, whatever. I don't know what they call it, but it's basically a pin and pull. Now, in this situation, we got O'Leary trying to crack back on the defensive end. Now, before everybody says that's crazy, stupid, everything, I've cracked guys back and had great success with it. But the issue is it's a bad matchup to start with, okay? Although you can win some of those matchups with a tough-ass receiver, okay? But he's in a bad stance that he cannot execute the block with his inside foot that far back. You just can't do it. You got to square your stance up or slightly stagger with your inside foot so you can pick your inside foot up to pin him. Because as soon as you step back with the inside foot or step with the outside foot, you're screwed. The guy's going to blow right through your inside shoulder. And if you can't stop him from penetrating, nobody can get around to make their blocks. So you got a bad matchup, you got bad stance, and you got bad technique. Okay. But let's talk about what could have or should have happened. Generally, when you use a receiver, it's a good idea sometimes to put him in motion and let him gather a little inertia to make that block. Now, whether you should use a receiver in this situation or not is certainly arguable, okay? But since you are, we got to give him every chance to succeed, okay? Get him in the right stance, give him a little inertia. Okay, can't allow penetration. He penetrates, end of discussion, there is no play. He's going to knock off the pulling tackle, who's going to knock off the pulling fullback, and play's going to go nowhere, okay? But that's what you want to do, okay? The tackle, once that guy gets pinned, or let's talk about Bradison. Bradison goes in motion. He's going to wrap around that pin, and he's going to take the first thing to the outside, okay? He's going to take the first thing to the outside. Now, sometimes in man-to-man coverage, you'll go down and pin that guy, and that guy will come inside, and the backer will show up first, and that may be the guy you end up blocking, but in this case, that didn't happen, but we never really see it because we never do clear the pin. But that's the guy he's responsible for, ideally, okay? The tackle now will pull in between the pin and the arc block, and he'll block the inside linebacker, again, assuming that the pin is successful. Left guard and center will come off to double the 3 and try and get to the backside linebacker. Right guard, backside tackle will block the nose guard and the 3 technique respectively. And the tight end will cut off the 7. Quarterback will just step back and race for the corner until he's cut off. If he's cut off, put his foot in the ground, which he's done a couple times in other games, and just drop your pads and run for the goal line. But you can see in this situation now, and we'll watch this, what happened is the receiver kind of pops his feet and squares his shoulders directly to the sideline, to the opposite sideline. And the big old 41 just blows right through his inside shoulder. That right foot has got to step first, short to have any chance to execute this block, particularly in light of the fact that it is a bad matchup.
Yeah, boy, he blows Hinton up.
Well, I tell you what, I learned, Sam, a ton about these types of blocks back in the early 2000s when we started running a lot of bunch formations where we were pulling people in. And we would do it, again, with big guys, with tough receivers, guys that can handle it. And that footwork has to be so finite that you're just not afforded much margin for error, particularly when you're forced to block a big guy.
He blows Hinton up and makes the play.
Yeah, Hinton just never gets turned. Neither does Bradison, for that matter.
Yeah, that's just not. Yeah, play never gets started. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. He's crucial. He gets your play started.
Yeah, that's the one thing about the pin and pulls. You got to get them started. You may not even block every guy perfect. I know I work with an line coach at Auburn. He goes, every time we pin and pull, we never end up blocking the guy we anticipated blocking, but we stay on track and end up blocking somebody, and the play works because the pin gets pinned. You know what I mean? But he was telling me all the time, God, this thing works different every time. I go, that's just the nature of the play. Just stay on track and make sure we get the damn thing started. Our backs will get yards.
Yeah. All right, Al Borges. We got one more play in this game to bring to the fore. It's another show play, and not pretty. Not
okay.
pretty.
Now we got a 4 vertical play, and we're just throwing the ball out to Colston right now, and we get a completion, and that's all good. But if we're going to throw a 4 vertical play on the 20-yard line, let's go touchdown or check down, okay? You can see, I believe it's Klein, running straight down the middle. There are another 2 squats, and you can't see it very good from here, but boy, you sure as hell can from the all-22. He runs right by 21. He's got a touchdown play, okay? The corner is trying to overlap it, really can't get to it. I mean, he blows right by him. You can't appreciate it from this angle, but it really there. But rather than throw the ball out to Colston right now, which and I know he's a good tight end and all that, but I'd much rather have a steak than a ham sandwich. If they're going to give us that vertical, let's go ahead and take it, particularly in this part of the field, and the protection's good enough to do so. All the rush is pushed to the left. Give me a quick front out, maybe a quick hitch, and drop that ball right on top of that vertical tight end. If you don't like it for some reason, which you're going to like it because it's wide open in this instance, just take it out to Loveland or check it down to Donovan, who's leaking through late. But you got to give that thing a chance. Now, some guys just coach the vertical smash that if it's a gimme, take it. You know what I mean? Take it. Don't even look at the vertical. But this is an instance where you got a chance to throw a touchdown pass. This isn't an early play in a drive where you're just trying to get completions. You're trying to throw either a touchdown or a check down. That's the thinking inside the red areas. We want to take a bite out of their ass and complete a pass here for a touchdown. And if they're not giving it to us, just go to your contingency plan. But this was a missed opportunity here for whatever reason.
Yeah, you're and it's deceptive because again, this leaves the impression that this is all that they were doing. They were just running quick outs. They were running hitches. And that's all they were doing.
And Sam, like early this first play of the game was a vertical smash, and they hit it for a completion, I think for a 13-yard gain, which is good, But now you get in the red area, we're not dinking and dunking anymore. You know what I mean? In the red area, it's touchdown or check down. We want to bite. We will dink it, but only once we've taken a nice, healthy look at the touchdown pass. It's just only so many plays where they're giving you opportunities to score touchdowns inside the 20. That condensed fields makes things a lot more dicey. So if you're getting that chance, take that chance. And then if for some reason you don't like it, know what your contingency plan is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tough thing to try to fix, but this is what they get paid the big bucks for.
That's right, Sam.
Try to, take it and fix it and massage it and mold it and get it back in shape enough here, and you get a 2 bye week, so you get a extra week to try to get this together for Northwestern. And so hopefully, coach, they can between the line and figuring out some patches for the line and your quarterback and trying to get that in shape, and then trying to work an alternative plan, trying to work your alternate plan too. Getting Alex some sort of game plan ready for Alex. If you get in a situation where your quarterback is like that, you can't go through a whole game like that, Al. You can't go through a whole game like that.
No, I mean, there is a point where you got to cut and run. I want to give the kid every chance, particularly if give him a chance to get you back in the game. As long as he's doing things right and everything's circumstantial, that happens to guys. You know what I mean? That's the way it goes. But you can't abort all your fundamentals. You can't get away from that which we're coaching, and that's which we expect, and that's what you should expect of yourself. So once it becomes non-productive and everything's gone south, it's time to make a change. That's what they're going to do to the coach, but hopefully the coach is going to fix it before they do that. So it's all about doing what your coach do, or at least trying to execute what your coach to do. And that's really the
long and the short of it.
Story. That's a long and short of it. Yeah. Coaching's a funny deal. You want to understand and be empathetic to guys' problems, but by the same token, you have to be demanding. And sometimes that's not being a real nice guy. Sometimes that's telling it. Hey, either you're going to do it or you're not going to play. I'm going to take you out. I mean, this is your chance. Take advantage of the chance and do what you're coached to do. And if you fail trying to do what you're coached to do. And I can't put you down for that. But when we abort all that which we're taught to do, and I'm not just talking about the quarterback, I'm talking about any position, okay? Then we either got to fix it or we got to put somebody else in there.
No doubt. Well, you talked us through it, Al. Get a week to see if they can get it together and be back at it. There will obviously be no film study next week, so a little hiatus from the
Sam, what are you going to do without me?
I'll survive, Al.
I don't know. I get a little concerned about you, Sam.
I'll survive.
I get a little concerned. You need your football fix every week. Otherwise, you start going back to fandom, and that drives me out of my mind.
I'll figure it out.
I don't know. I don't know, Sam. I'm not 100% sure of that.
I'll get a fix, I'm sure.
Well.
In between time, folks, we always enjoy it. I hope you at least were educated. Maybe you didn't enjoy what you saw, but you were educated by what you saw. And then we'll be back next time, and hopefully it'll be more enjoyable because they will have made some progress. We can hope, right? Until then, though, we'll see you on the next edition of the Michigan Football Film Study, focused on the offense with Al Borges.
Go Blue.